Good morning, y'all. Happy Thursday. Thank you for coming to watch another What Else is Going On, aka We Go podcast YouTube video. I'm your girl, your host, Taria. So look, I'm about to run out, go do some work for the day. But first up, I wanted to get into this with y'all last night, but I ended up being a part of Millie Chun's live with her and El Mirazaki. So shout out to those beautiful ladies. We had a good old time. Make sure you check out my recent, excuse me, podcast episode with Millie Chun. We got into some things. So I wanted to get into some things with y'all today. I'm sure y'all have seen it, heard clips. I'm not going to play the entire thing, but I did want to play a couple of different clips from Porsha's interview at the Breakfast Club. You know, you can go on YouTube or even, I believe you can find the Breakfast Club in your podcast app and listen to the entire podcast. But there were a couple things that I was really interested in her response. I'm not going to put it on the screen because sometimes I put it on the screen. It's not a problem. Other times I put it on the screen. It's a message from YouTube. So y'all just going to have to listen and look at me. But I initially started reading the article from Urban Belle magazine. Porsha Williams wants Kenya Moore back on RHOA plus Clapback at Dr. Simone Whitmore. So she got into Kenya, and this is the part I'm going to read. She said, Porsha's holding out hope that Kenya will return to the show in the near future. Unfortunately, Kenya's feud with RHOA newbie Britt Eady got really bad. The Kenya that I saw this season was not wanting beef and drama too much. She really wasn't on too much of that. Like you will see that in the first episode. She really was kind of chill with it, not her normal self. And I just feel like mixed with the newbie and some things that were said that were dangerous from the newbie. Now, you know, we heard allegedly Britt brought up having a G for women like a pow pow for women like Porsha. They said that wasn't true. There was a lot of back and forth. We don't know. But Porsha is now saying something dangerous was said from the newbie, so we don't know. She said, I feel like Kenya then decided to be even more dangerous. But I do feel like there's a space where there could be a conversation with her and Bravo, meaning Kenya and Bravo. I feel like there could be a conversation with her and Britt, and hopefully they can figure something out by next season. She also said she would love for her to be at the reunion. I'm for what's best for the show, and I loved where Kenya was going. She's not that happy with me right now, but that's okay. I've always been that type. I don't give a ish how you feel about me. I'm always going to speak the truth. I feel like at this moment, no matter what, it would be good for Kenya to be at the reunion, and I feel like she is very articulate. She can speak to Britt. She can speak to the cast, and she can speak to the fans, and she can find her way back next season. Now, Porsha said that Kenya is upset with her because Porsha said Britt and Kenya were very similar because they were both outspoken and fabulous. Porsha claims that Kenya didn't like the fact that she even compared her to Britt, no matter if it was in a positive light or not. Now, I want to let's get into what she said about Drew. Ciao.
Drew, you know what, Drew? Some people you just realize, okay, you just a little.
Hold on. They asked her about Drew.
Some people you just realize, okay, you just a little.
Is she still an ambassador of Go Naked Hair?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Go Naked Hair is Porsha's hair brand.
I can't put my hair on people's head and then they think they're me. Like, that's what I can't do. Like, that's what we not gonna do. You don't become Porsha by wearing Porsha's hair. You need to just enjoy my hair, take it out when it's dirty, and put it back in when it's clean. You know, like you can't just like all that. She's an okay person, I think, for a lot of her friends. I think they love her. I think they trust her. I think if you're not her friend, you shouldn't trust her and you shouldn't be around her.
Okay, so with you saying you shouldn't trust her, you shouldn't be around her, and she is not wearing Go Naked Hair anymore, you were not at all, and I saw it kind of in the first episode, you're not happy about the allegations that she might be in a relationship or whatever with Dennis, your ex.
See, this is why I like Breakfast Club. You ask the questions that need to be answered, okay? So here's the thing. On the show, I don't know how it's going to come off again because the show has to sensationalize things, right? So how good is it for me to be going through a divorce and I'm still jealous about my baby daddy? That's BS, right? So in real life, she actually was trying to film with him behind my back. And when
he's a music producer, right? That's what he said on the show. He's a music producer, right?
He's like that. He's whatever he said he is.
Okay,
yes, he is. He is a serial entrepreneur and apparently a music
producer, right? Okay.
But she was trying to film with him behind my back, and that's just not cool. Come on.
Well, because of the show as a
So it's just not cool, right? It felt like a setup for me in some way. And then also there was a Go Naked photo shoot she was trying to set up without me knowing anything about. I have to prove everything. Some of them fits, it's not fitting for you.
Right.
So some looks may not be given the look. So I would like to, as the owner of the company, be a part of any of that. So when those two things were happening behind my back, on my business, with my business, on my show, yeah, I have a problem with you.
So you didn't know Drew was recording with Dennis. You didn't know anything. You didn't know that they were speaking. You didn't know that they were talking until that first episode.
That's what they said on the episode?
I didn't know any of that.
So you found out right there in that episode.
What's funny, I saw the episode and she was like, she asked him and I said yes. And she talked to me and I said yes. And I'm like, that's just not true. Like, I genuinely didn't know. Look, at the end of the day, like I told Shamea, if Drew and Dennis want to get together, I just hope she can do baby hair for Pilar. Like, I'm happy with Drew. I think she's a great parent. I think if him and her were to get together and, you know, they can have a solid relationship, that's good too. Just don't screw me where you asked me to come back to be. She had been asking me to come back to Housewives. And when I came back, this is what you had waiting on me. This whack storyline that y'all came up with.
Oh.
Yeah.
How excited are you and Drew?
Child, now I want y'all to look at this though. I am going to show you this. Look at this picture. Because Drew's sister Allison had something to say. Baby, look. Drew's sister Allison said, Porsha, so you are on a lying tour. Why are you creating a fake narrative? Shame on you at Porsha for real. This is Drew's sister Allison. A lot of people had something to say. Somebody said, I know Porsha ain't talking about trust. Somebody else said, LOL, even as Porsha's friend, she can't be trusted. Look how she did Shamea, Candy, Fallon, Kenya, etc. Somebody said, really, did you ask Fallon about her house and her pool, about her husband on the show? Somebody said, I love me some Porsha, but sis, you stole an entire husband behind your friend's back. This ain't the storyline you need to go with. Now somebody said Porsha will take Shamea's husband. Somebody else said, what's not cool is going on TV and accusing someone of trying to DRUGU. So yeah, her sister said, you are a lying liar. Stop lying on me. I said, well. Then we also know that Dr. Simone called Porsha a mean girl, which seemed like it came out of left field, right? We did that video yesterday. Here is Porsha's response. Now I'm going to tell you, I feel like Porsha ate her in the response. Keep in mind, remember there was a big thing last year because at the reunion, Dr. Simone tried to use Quad's niece as passing away as a way to prove that I was there for you. I reached out to you. And Quad kept saying, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. And she brought it up anyway. Now keep that in mind when you hear Porsha's response. Let's get to it. I said, they is not playing. I do feel like I had it up on my screen. Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go, y'all. Here we go.
Simone Whitmore call you a mean girl. Why'd she say that about you, capital P? You so nice.
Well, I couldn't really understand what she was saying. I think Simone is reaching at straws. I don't know. I think Simone is full of it, just like that piece of doo-doo she had on her head. Like she on her show, sometimes when you're on reality TV, right, she's an OBGYN. Mm-hmm. She started on the show and, you know, she was a regular person and now on the camera. Sometimes when you start lacking in story, you start lacking as a person individually, you start just reaching and coming at bitches who are on point. Mm. So she's lacking. So when people lack, they try to deflect and come to you.
We didn't see
I've never met this person.
You didn't even met her?
Never met her.
I saw Dr. Simone. What did you think of Jackie Whitmore call you a mean girl?
Wait a minute, y'all. We missed a piece of it.
No.
There's a piece missing, y'all. Hold on.
I think Simone.
Because that's not all of it. I want y'all to hear the whole thing. Because Porsha gave it to her. Hold on. Wait a minute. I'm annoyed now because it cut off at the part that I wanted you to really hear. Wait a minute, y'all. It literally was just there. I looked at it.
Mean girl. Why'd she say that about you, capital P? You so nice.
Oh, I don't know. I couldn't really understand what she was saying.
What did you think of Jackie?
Wait a minute, y'all. I'm going to find it. That's annoying to me because it literally was just there. Hold on. Oh, this is going to piss me off.
Could affect me more than any of this.
And girl, this is
what she said. Oh, this pisses me off because I literally was just there. It literally was just sitting there and now it's gone. But what she said was, give me 1 second. And I know y'all heard it, but I wanted y'all to hear it. She said, oh, here we go. Here we go, yo. Got it.
Dr. Simone Whitmore.
We're just going to play this part again.
She said that about you, capital P. You so nice.
Well, I couldn't really understand what she was saying. I think Simone is reaching at straws. I mean, I don't know. I think Simone is full of it, just like that piece of doo-doo she had on her head. Like, to me, she on her show, sometimes when you're on reality TV, right, she's an OBGYN. Mm-hmm. She started on the show and, she was a regular person and now on the camera. Sometimes when you start lacking in story, you start lacking as a person individually, you start just reaching and coming at bitches who are on point. Mm. So she's lacking. So when people lack, they try to deflect and come to you.
We didn't see
I've never met this person.
It wasn't me.
You even met her?
I've never met her.
I will say, I think a lot, even if you've never met her, because of how, it's been a lot of seasons of Real Housewives of Atlanta, and we all feel like we know you guys, so maybe that's what she felt. I don't think you give mean,
no,
you don't give mean girl. Mean girl.
No, I think mean.
You can definitely get with a bit. Like you hold your own.
If you knock them up.
Yeah, you definitely do.
But that's the old Porsha. I take that back. I don't do that. Right, Lauren?
We're not gonna see that this season. I'm looking forward to it.
But if somebody knocks in you bucks, that's actually of God.
Exactly.
That's right. Because the first law of nature is self-preservation. You got to defend yourself.
You have to defend yourself.
She gonna use that.
She gonna use that. She's gonna use that.
Like, remember
that was of God.
Yeah. No, I think Mean Girl is when you have a cast member who had a death in their family and you are still hard on them. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you gotta know when someone needs a hug and not a lecture. Mm-hmm. And Simone does not have that sense at all. I just feel like she has been very mean and a little bit evil to some of her castmates.
Now, y'all got to remember, Porsha is friends with Claude. Matter of fact, I just saw, last week or the week before, something on Instagram where a girl was like, let's see what time my friends show up. She threw a party, and it was Porsha, Quad, Yandy, and some other ladies. So Porsha is friends with Quad. So yeah, she didn't take too kindly, I guess, to that. But I said, now I will say this. Porsha said a lot in this entire interview, but she definitely got Simone on that one. Because Simone, you don't even know me to say that I'm a mean girl. You, if you've never interacted with me, don't know me. Now, yes, some people could say, well, I'm going based on what I see, but I still don't even understand why Simone couldn't just keep it on to Phaedra, but she had to drag Porsha in. So we'll see if Simone has a response. I doubt that she's going to have a response. But what y'all think about that? Now, this is the last piece I'm going to get into. Again, you can watch the full interview at The Breakfast Club. We know that Shamea has been a friend of on the show, and she actually, even though she met Kandi through Porsha, and actually when she did her speak on it with Kandi, she said she had met Kandi years before that, but Kandi didn't remember it. But they were introduced to, in Candi's mind, they met through Porsha. So Shamea and Kandi became good friends, and Kandi is the one that have been trying to get her on the show, she said. Now, we all saw the trailer where it looked like Shamea was having a sit down with Porsha, and Porsha was yawning, and Shamea's kind of like, am I boring you? Like telling her about, she may not have said, I'm boring you, but it was something to that effect. Shamea was telling her about how she felt about some things in their friendship. So the interviewer is trying to ask her, how are you and Shamea now? And it seems as if Porsha doesn't really want to answer how they are now. So let's get into that.
This season could affect me more than any other.
Hey, girl, this is your...
Oh, wait, y'all know that's not it. They're going to make me scream.
The whole incident that happened. I think it is... I wanted to have Phaedra back. The cast one.
Are y'all... Like at this point, are you and Shamea as close as we've always known y'all to be? Because the first episode kind of gives that, Shamea is now coming into herself on the show. And there might be a little bit of tension because of that. There was a moment where she's like, okay, like, this is my new car, girl. Get to the left. It's not about you right now.
Yeah.
And that was a little weird. I was like, well, I ain't never really seen that from Shamea and Porsha.
Yeah, it was weird, but also, it's the whole environment. I mean, in true housewife fashion, who doesn't love to talk crap about the person who's late and make them look bad or whatever? No one knew the reason why I was really late. I mean, I didn't get to tell her till we were in the closet while I was late. And at the end of the day, I did walk up while she was enjoying her car. But in my brain, as my best friend, I'm like, oh, we both about to twerk on the car. Like, bitch, you finally did it. Like, you got that Rolls Royce. Like, so I thought, you know how you go to a party and you're like, I don't want to miss them getting a birthday song. I don't want to miss them cutting the cake.
Yeah.
So the production was trying to tell me, Porsha, hold on, don't walk up to her while she's doing. I said, no. I want to miss her getting her car.
Yeah.
But I can see how it came off like, of course, the other girl, she's walking in her moment. Walking in her moment. That's my friend. Like, I root for her regardless. I mean, when I didn't have or when she didn't have whatever, like, I want the best for her. I'm happy for everything that she has.
So now that you guys have gone through this season or whatever, is the relationship still the same though?
But did you keep in mind? Now, remember, we heard what the interviewer asked in the beginning. How are y'all now? She goes into the scene, which there's clips out there of Shamea, I guess, with her Rolls Royce and Porsha walking up late. That's not what the interviewer asked her. She said, how are you and Porsha now? So she get ready to ask her again.
It's just a very, like, what conversations do y'all have after a moment like that? Because I've never seen that dynamic.
Well, you have to understand, like I just said, I was oblivious to how the narrative was being painted.
Oh, so that's a big conversation.
So y'all see that Porsha is still going back to her. Like, the interviewer is saying, okay, so where are y'all at now? What kind of conversations do you have after that moment? And she's saying, going back to, I didn't know what was going on. No, we want to know, are y'all good or not now?
Happening right now.
Probably. I knew I was late,
wow.
But I knew I was late because I filmed in Duluth.
Yeah.
And there was a camera crew with me. One, like I was just somewhere lollygagging. I was working. And I knew that when I got there, I didn't want to miss her big moment because I got there just in time. So I didn't understand that. I now see the narrative of, oh, Porsha being late, trying to steal her moment. Why on earth would I bring my friend to the show or encourage the show to bring her in this moment as the main character and not be happy for
I think
it?
the show's trying to pitch y'all against each other.
Yeah, that's what it's given. That well, that is definitely a storyline.
We're gonna see what it gives, but
even with Kelly, that's the name, Kelly.
Kelly.
Made that
Kelly
funny
made the
remark
comment.
in front. Like I feel like they're trying to pitch y'all against each other.
You can't let them make you the punching bag all season.
Yeah, but she's the girl. This like that. It's her season. So that's what it comes with.
And not even just I'm that girl or queen of the show or whatever. I like those accolades. But no,
you get 2 peaches?
I get 2 peaches. I'm standing up in the middle like this. No, but it's like I feel like at the end of the day, I'm a bet. You're gonna have to come at the top dog. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm sure they're gonna come at Kenya, just like they did. They're gonna come at Phaedra. Mm-hmm. You gotta come at the OGs. It is what it is. It's just the name of the game.
Right.
It's just I feel like in TV, it's hard because you have your reality of what's happening real time, then you film it, and then you probably get over it, and then you watch it again. Right. And some things could be hurtful. The editing could be hurtful. Things could look dismissive.
Girl, answer the question.
What it not really is.
Right.
So
have you had to call her and do what you just did and be like, yo, taking accountability, I didn't even know it could come off that way. I apologize if it did. Like, are y'all doing that at this point? Because you're watching it back.
Genuinely,
you see how she's still trying to get from her, what are y'all doing now? What's the discussion now? Where's the friendship now? And Porsha keeps going around the question.
Wasn't that big of a deal to she or I.
Gotcha.
It really wasn't. Maybe it was by the time she got to her confessional and they started asking her them probing questions.
Right.
But at the time, there was no feeling, no bad vibe about me being like, this is my friend. She knows exactly where I'm filming at. She know I can't film in my crib. Mm-hmm. You know, she know what's being blocked over here. I'm just happy that they still filming my ass at the end of the day. Because how you filming a housewife without a house? So I'm just thankful and grateful to Bravo and to all the other girls for stepping up. I'm glad that her moment was so huge. Mm-hmm. I love that the way they showed it, they really showcased her. I love that. Because on an ensemble cast, the worst thing is to be just the main character on your own.
Right.
You want everybody to hold their own weight. And I feel like she carries her own weight. Kelly does, Britt does, all the girls do. So please shine.
What happened on when y'all shot the Upshaw? Because we had Nene.
We'll just go ahead and get into this now. But did y'all hear? So she never answered the question. Where are you and Shamea today? Are y'all having the conversation you're having with me now, basically explaining it all? Are y'all having those after the episode aired? She's not even answering the question. We'll get last thing. We'll go ahead and get into her and Nene. Remember, Nene said Porsha tried to stop her. Porsha didn't want to film with her. Let's get into Porsha's side of things.
Up here.
Yeah.
And she said you blocked her from being on the Upshaws.
No, she did it. She did the show.
But you wouldn't do it with her.
So no, it's not that I wouldn't do it with her. So I signed on to do the Upshaws, and I had just filed, I think, could have even been a week and a half prior. So you know how you sign up. So mind y'all, when I filed for divorce, I didn't know I was filing for divorce. I was happily in love with my husband. Like, we were good. Valentine's Day, we had a horrible argument. Things got really nasty, and I knew something was about to hit the fan. Right. But I did not know. So when it happened, I had already signed up to do the show, and I really couldn't cancel at that point. So when I got there,
y'all hear that? So her and her husband were good. They were in love, had a nasty argument on Valentine's Day. She knew something was going to happen. She files. She didn't want to go to the show in that state, but she knew she couldn't cancel from doing the Upshaws. So she goes.
I just was sitting in the green room or the waiting area, and I just start breaking down.
Oh man.
I just start breaking down. And then then she was in the room next to me, and just hearing her voice broke me down because I just felt when you're going through divorce, you just feel so alone. And here I am, just a foul, coming out of my room. I mean, I could barely put on makeup. And now here I am on a set with strangers. I don't have anybody. Just hearing her voice, it was just too familiar. And, I had not talked to her. I didn't know how I could face her. I didn't know how I could face anybody. So it genuinely wasn't me saying, no, I don't work with this person or that person, whomever, because I agreed to it. I just wasn't capable of doing it that day.
Mentally and emotionally.
Mentally and emotionally. I could not gather myself at all. So when I spoke to them, they were like, I understand you're not going to be able to act as a housewife today. They ended up letting me go home. And then they said, we'll fill in your spot with Cynthia. And then after that, in true Nene fashion, she just turned it into something about herself. And it genuinely wasn't about her. It was about me. You know what I'm saying? Like, her actions of taking Simon's side and hanging out with him, with women or whatever they were doing, it just really was null and void to me. I just would have wanted a friend. So for her to turn it and make it like I tried to block her money or whatever, me block Nene's money, how? Like, Nene's a star. I can't block your money, just like nobody can block mine. I don't give a damn who you are. So to me, it's just unfortunate. I'm too grown. I'm sure y'all can see I'm a different Porsha. If I was another Porsha, I would be reading her and her wig or whatever, but I don't feel that way. Like, I feel like we grown people. Girl, you know how it is to go through a divorce. You know exactly what emotions I could have been feeling. So all the extraness is just not needed.
So then I want to know, who was it that went back and told Nene this is what was said? Because Nene said something, she said that, like, the people, I guess, on the show came back and told her this is what Porsha said. Now Porsha's saying something different. One thing, and I get, you said you couldn't cancel. You went up there, maybe emotions were high. You get there and you're like, oh my gosh, I just can't do this. But later on, when she talks about she would have wanted a friend, why then did she not text Nene and was like, it wasn't you. I heard your voice. Something just clicked for me and I just had to leave, because Nene wasn't hanging out with Simon and all that until after this, I believe, right? So correct me if I'm wrong. I know that y'all will let me know. Nene wasn't hanging out with Simon until after all of this went down. So you can't even use, well, she was hanging out with Simon. I get there, I hear her voice, and boom, I can't do it. I don't know. It just sounds a little BS to me. Like, let me see. Somebody commented, definitely lying about the Nene story. LOL, you can tell by the shade she threw about Nene taking Simon's side and hanging out with him and women. If it was as innocent as she was going through it and couldn't film, she would have talked to Nene on the set. Those producers aren't lying. See, and that's what I was saying. Like, why wouldn't you say something to her right then? Somebody said they think that she was embarrassed about another failed marriage, especially given how controversial the relationship was to begin with. I don't think it was about not liking Nene, though, and Nene immediately took it to the internet. And then the person responded, well, Nene was very specific in her claim about how Porsha handled it. And it was totally different from what Porsha is claiming now. If my memory serves me correctly, Nene said that Porsha told the producers that she didn't want to work with her because she was too difficult to work with. Now I'm going to say this. If she said that, then this whole whatever she just did is like BS. It's like, girl, I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think about everything that Porsha had to say. Her clapback at Dr. Simone, how she explained the Nene situation, how she explained the Kenya situation. She said she wants Kenya back, even though Kenya may be a little bit unhappy with her right now, but she still wants Kenya back because she's about what's best for the show and about, she speaks on basically, she feels like Drew cooked up this whole storyline with the Drew and Dennis of it all. After Drew begged her to come back to the show, I come back and this is what you have waiting on me. Child, in her saying that you're wearing the Go Naked hair, but it doesn't mean you're Porsha. I said, now wait a minute. Y'all let me know what y'all think. I got to go get out on these roads. I'll be back later. See ya. Oh my gosh. Thank y'all for getting me to 5,000 followers. I meant to tell y'all that y'all are just helping me hit milestone after milestone. I appreciate every single one of y'all that follow, that subscribe, the respectful comments and conversation. I truly, truly, truly appreciate y'all. Mind you, respectful doesn't mean agreeing with me. It just means not being disrespectful in the disagreement. That's it. But I really, 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 really appreciate y'all. It just blows my mind. And I don't take it for granted. Love y'all. I'll talk to y'all later. See ya.